Then if you're working in an organization, you need to know the organizational problem. Is it about sales that are falling? Is it about customer behavior? Is it about maybe employees and so on?
Moment with our podcast on data science. It's a privilege to have you here again. Today, we are going to talk about unlocking the opportunities in data science. And it's an exciting opportunity to have one of our instructor, the co-founder of Links Academy. It's a pleasure to have him in our program today. We are going to hear from him. Before we get to know who he is, we find that the world of technology where we live today, there's a lot of advocacy for people to embrace digital technology, especially the world of data science. We are going to hear from him why there's so much advocacy for this field, what is in the field of data science, that a lot is being said about it, and so much advocacy that people should go into the field of data and tap the opportunities in it. Our guest speaker for today. Hello, sir.
Yes, thank you, Madam Charlotte, and thank you for the opportunity and for our listeners and viewers. And I'm excited to have you. Now, today we're discussing the opportunities in the world of data science, and a lot today is happening, and I will take you behind the scenes for you to understand. Every click you do online, every message you send, every email you receive, any video you watch, any purchase order you do online or offline has something to do with data science. And so our world data is generated on daily basis from different dimensions such that we cannot do without data. As we are talking, data is being generated. As people are watching this video, data is generated. And so this data that is generated on daily basis, for us to be able to make meaning from it, we need the services of data science, which data science basically is a multidisciplinary field that encompasses computer science, statistics and probability, and then the domain knowledge. Again, why this is not all, data science is more or less, we can say it's a multidisciplinary field, because apart from being these core 3 dimensions, there are much more as we'll be discussing. And so we cannot do today, I think, take a good example. Look at Google. You are searching on Google. There are billions of people searching at the same time, or millions of people searching online. Anytime as we're discussing, people are streaming live videos. People are uploading videos. People are watching videos. People are doing everything. And so data science comes in to make meaning to these different activities that are taking part at the same time. It comes in to identify patterns, track anomalies, so that at the end of the day, we are able to make meaning from this data to make decisions. And so if you're a business and you want to understand the behavior of your customers, you need the services of a data scientist. If you're a business and you want to be able to optimize and streamline processes, you need the services of a data scientist who can be able to study and identify patterns, identify anomalies, and say, okay, this is how we can. If you want to automate your system, you need the services of a data scientist. And so data science in itself is something that we are experiencing all around. Even before you take your normal decisions, you may adopt the principle of data science without consciously knowing that you are doing data science. How did you decide what to cook? When you went to the market, how did you decide the price, that this price was good for your product, and so on and so forth? So there is a lot of, we cannot do without data. And so we are using data without knowing that we are using data. And questions, what has happened? That is diagnostic analysis. How did it happen? It describes the currency, descriptive analysis. What will happen? That is what? Predictive analysis. What should happen based on what, or what should be done? Prescriptive. So it has the ability to diagnose, describe, right? Predict and prescribe. It prescribes what you should do in order to get certain expected outcome. And so these dimensions present to us a new, different ways of looking at the whole process in the field. Data science offers a range of opportunities. whatever field you are working. Are you in the healthcare? Now, I've always said it when I'm teaching students, I said, today, before now, we used to think of computer skills, the ability to use Microsoft Word, ability to send emails as basic skills. But today, I think if you apply for a company, or in the next 5 to 10 years, if you apply to a company, one of the core skills they want to see is your ability to analyze data. That will be one of the most needed skills. The second skill that you need to be able to is the ability to use AI and use AI effectively. Your ability to prompt engineering, to use different AI tools, and many others. And all of these things, you'll be able to do well if you have a basic understanding of how data works. And so there are lots of opportunities. If you're in the banking sector, you're able to help loan managers to be able to optimize and streamline the loan management process. If you are in a health sector, a doctor, you are not only using a doctor before you decide that this is medication should be offered to a patient. The data passes through a system and you see the results. So there are numerous opportunities. Data analyst, data scientist, data administrator, machine learning engineer, and so many other opportunities. And these different roles come with one thing. You can go and Google it for yourself. You see that the pay package is so good. That's why I think somebody even described data scientist or data science as a sexiest job, because the pay package is good, the opportunities are many, and you can work from home, you can work within an organization, you can work solo, or you can be a consultant. It all depends on where you want to see yourself. Now, to look at this too from the different things that we need to, from the different dimensions, there is something we call awesome, which is awesome in data science is actually an acronym that talks about you have to obtain data, you have to prepare the data, you have to clean the data, so that preparation has to do with cleaning, you have to transform the data, you have to model the data, you have to deploy the data. And so that acronym tries to present the whole process. So as a data analyst or a data scientist, the first thing you need to know is the ability to define a problem. That means you must come from a specific domain. Are you working in an organization? Then if you're working in an organization, you need to know the organizational problem. Is it about sales that are falling? Is it about customer behavior? Is it about maybe employees and so on and so forth? Once you define the problem, the next thing is for you to define, to be able to collect data. And so you need to use different ability to collect data. And the ability to collect data comes with different tools. For instance, if you want to collect data and you're using questionnaires, you may need to design an instrument like a Google form, or you may need to, and so the ability to use Google form is important. You need to use Kobo Collect. It becomes an important skill that you are expected to have. You may need to use any other, or much more, you want to use a database. You need to be able to access data from a database like company records. If the company is using software, you need to go there, or retrieve sales record, retrieve customer record, suppliers records, and the rest. So you need access to ability to use a database. So in that case, you need to be able to use database. Either it's MySQL or Oracle database, or any of the database that the company is dealing with. So that becomes what some essential skills. So database management skills are important, and I've mentioned some of them tools. Now, apart from data collection, the next thing is about data cleaning. You have to clean the data, because it's like you are preparing a meal. If you want to prepare a meal, you don't just take the ingredients and put in a pot. You have to remove all the dates. You have to remove and make sure that there's no sand, that everything is according to standard. So that one, you also have to take care by trying to remove it and making sure that the data becomes clean, right? And so that is the second dimension that we see. And so at that particular stage, there's some skills that are vital. And which are the skills? Some of the skills that you need at this stage will be, or the tools that you need to use here will be maybe a Python, which is used for cleaning, and most essentially use Pandas, which is data cleaning, data analysis and cleaning. You can use even your Microsoft Excel to do cleaning. You can use Power BI, where you would use a Power Query to clean your data. And so at that particular stage, you need to have some of these skills to be able to do data cleaning. Or you're using non-programming applications like SPSS, JMovie, Jabs, and the rest. They're all available, and you need to be able to use these skills to clean your data. And so apart from data cleaning, you have to analyze. And these same tools like Python, as we have mentioned, it's not only used for data cleaning, we can also use it for data analysis. And so if you want to succeed data scientists, the ability to use programming languages is important, and most importantly, Python. We can talk about R, but I recommend Python because Python is, I think, one of the most popular data science languages that is used out there. Partly because of it has a large community. We can use it to do almost everything. So that is where it also makes the program very useful. Now we have data visualization, where we talk about Power BI. We talk about Tableau. We also talk about using some Power BI Python tools like Matplotlib, Seaborn, and the rest. So those are some skills. And then deployment. Deployment also comes in depending on the nature of the data. But at this particular point, I will just want to present this as some of the most important tools that are available. But when you get this to, is that all? No, that you cannot end it. In the world of data science, I think every stage has something to do with the previous. Now, once you have analyzed the data, what do? You need to communicate. So communication skills become important. The ability to work in a team becomes vital. The ability to collaborate, maybe using other tools that you can share data, share information, share your codes and everything, it becomes very, very important. Ability to present. When we're teaching our data science, we often say, okay, students, you learn how to collect data, so we'll give them an exercise to go and collect data. Clean your data, analyze your data, present your data. Once you're done with your presentation, you are expected to prepare a data science report, which must start from problem definition, methodology adopted, analysis, and what to find, recommendation. Once you do that, you prepare a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is for you. For instance, once you have done your analysis, you have to present your findings maybe to the needed audience. Maybe it's the management or whosoever will need to use the results. And so you prepare PowerPoint, you present the results and record yourself and do the presentation on a video format, because that may just be a way that the company will request that you do the analysis and send in a video based on what you have found. So that is a bit of the skills that are needed as a data scientist.
I think that somebody hearing all this, a lot of data, it sounds as if it has a lot of mathematics inside. And somebody may be asking, I'm so desirous to venture into this field, but I don't have a background in mathematics. I don't have. So what can you tell somebody who desires to learn data science, but doesn't have a mathematics background? Or in other words, what are the basic requirements? What are the background requirements somebody must have before venturing into this field?
I think it's a good question. What do you need to have before you can venture into the data science field? I think principally the skills that are elaborated, but you don't need to have a good knowledge in mathematics. Before now, having mathematical knowledge was, that's why computer science is emphasized as a core skill. But you can come with your literature and still do data science. You can come with your English and still do data science, history and do data science. But if you must succeed, you need to be able to at least have some love for figures. Yes, it's not hardcore mathematics. The softwares today, they do all the mathematics. So what I always teach is that no matter your background, you can succeed in this field, but you need to have some love for learning, because the tools are many, the concepts are much, but you need to have that desire to learn. And because we have a lot of technological tools today, what basically happens is that the AIs have made it easier for you not to necessarily know the mathematics, but know when to use which technique and how to interpret your result, because all the mathematics is done behind the scene. And so the most important part is knowing which technique to use because of this particular problem and how to get meaning from the results, which means once you get the output, how do you interpret it for your audience to succeed? What you need to do from your own perspective is that love and that ability to be curious, because while it is a science that has some methodological approach that it uses, but one thing is important to take into account. It's more or less a creative field. You need a lot to be creative enough. There's a lot of creativity expected if you succeed in this field.
Okay. Wow, I think that comes down to the level of almost everybody. So you can venture into the field of data science without necessarily being a mathematician. Just have love for figures. Have love for at least be able to stand figures, because you will meet figures there. But the most important thing is that we have software that will run the figures for you, and just learn how to interpret it and make meaning out of it. Like we said from the beginning, data scientists are the gold miners of the gold that is in data. Data actually is gold itself, but scientists are there to mine the gold. So I think that is that for today's episode of our podcast. And thank you so much, sir, for coming. It's a pleasure to have you. We are looking forward to having the next episode. But before you go, what word do you have for our viewers?
Okay, thank you. If you are watching maybe on YouTube, on Facebook, or any of the forums, we recommend that you should like, share, and subscribe. But much more, what is important, this is a job for the future and to present and the future that much. And so it's time for you to take a skill that has potential for today and into the future. And First Links Data Science Academy is available. We have our trainings are ongoing. You can go to academy.firstlinks.com. You can